So it's no secret that President Trump loves shaking up his staff, loves firing people. In fact, his whole persona was based on firing people, and he's done plenty of that. His last person that resigned was H.R. McMaster, and before that, Rex Tillerson. So he's had an enormous turnover rate in the White House when it comes to staffers. In fact, there's always seems to be somebody that is leaving the White House or is replacing someone else who has already left. Now, one of the people that he could also replace is his Chief of Staff, John Kelly. I mean, it would be his second Chief of Staff before it was Reince Priebus, who, by the way, is probably still out there pouring Baileys on his cereal. Now, Trump has had some issues with John Kelly, and that's why it's important to bring up. In fact, recently there was the Rob Porter scandal that lasted a little while and actually led to the resignation of Hope Hicks. Hope Hicks was apparently romantically linked with Rob Porter, who lost his security clearance because apparently, or he couldn't pass a background check because he had some previous problems with relationships. Now, he happened to have been in a relationship with Hope Hicks. Anyway, now, it's not just him, of course. Earlier, he made statements, I think it was like last month, he made statements commenting, or made comments calling Trump uninformed when it comes to immigration. So, oh no, his views on immigration, they're evolving, which led Trump later on to release a tweet that, no, I've known everything about immigration ever. I've always known everything about immigration. I'm not evolving at all. Not evolving at all. Fascinating. And look, not only that, but he's a little chafed at Kelly's style. Now, Kelly, of course, basically locked him down from all other sources of information and have kept the information going to the president's desk fairly limited. Now, that is something that he has said to friends outside of the White House that he wasn't exactly fond of. Because, look, when he's on executive time, he usually watches Fox News, eats cheeseburgers, and calls his friends to complain. Now, still, with all that, he has not actually fired John Kelly because, well, for one, they agree on immigration. Okay. There's another good reason. I mean, and look, he's very hawkish on immigration, very of the same mind as Donald Trump. Oh, let's keep people out. Let's keep the refugees out. John Kelly's a terrible person. So don't let that fact get away from you. Not only that, but John Kelly seems to be doing all the work. And if there's one thing President Trump hates doing, it's work. He would rather be at Mar-a-Lago. But aside from those things, what if John Kelly either resigned or was fired? Well, who would take his place? Well, that's actually very interesting. And for that, we go to somebody who was close in the White House up until recently, who decided he wanted to talk about this, about who he thinks would replace John Kelly if he were to go.
I've actually argued that if General Kelly at any time does decide to leave, or the president decides it's time for him to move on, I don't believe there'll be another chief of staff. I think that there'll be 5 or 6 direct reports like there was in Trump Tower. I think the president is a very hands-on manager, and he feels more comfortable with that.
To be fair, that's Steve Bannon, formerly of the White House, formerly of Breitbart, formerly relevant. No longer relevant. Nonetheless, Steve Bannon thinks, well, look, if Trump fires Kelly, he's just going to take over himself. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. Look, you can't run the White House like you ran Trump Tower. In fact, he's been trying to do that. And when he tried to do that, it was an absolute, complete disaster. It was, like I said, chaos. Oh, but no, there's no chaos. There's only great energy. Sure. Now, look, it is, like I said, it's Steve Bannon, so take this with a grain of salt, obviously. But nonetheless, there's another thing you need to take as a grain of salt, and that's when the president says, oh, no, don't worry about it. John Kelly's job is 100% safe. Well, how many times have we heard that about people whose job was not safe? In fact, you had Rex Tillerson, who we believe their job was safe. Not only that, but you have Hope Hicks. We thought she was safe. Paul Manafort, we thought that he was safe. Michael Flynn, Gary Cohn, many others. Again, this administration has had absolute record turnover. So you could argue that there is no job in the White House that is safe. And to me personally, I would extend that to Donald Trump as well, because Mueller's in his bank accounts. He's coming for him. Look, people are either getting fired or they're jumping ship. And again, that probably has to do with Mueller bearing down on them. But please, Donald Trump, please be your chief of staff. Yeah, just get rid of Kelly. We'll see how that works out. I'm sure chaos will not reign. I'm sure the White House will, instead of being chaotic, will just be full of great energy. Let's see what happens. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.